So I'm very much fascinated with this one important principle which is applicable to each and every aspect of our everyday life. Now this principle is 80-20 principle. And according to this principle, it states that to do any work in our life, we can accomplish 80% of that task in just 20% of the time. And to complete that task, the pending 20% of that task, it will require 80% of the time. And it holds good to every situation of our life. I'll give you a few examples and you will be able to relate well. The first example can be, if you have to create a report, you have to present a report. So you can create a mind map or a blueprint of that report immediately. It will not take much of the time, just 20% of the time, and you will be able to get all the information together. But in order to compile that report, to present that report, to add facts and figures and every small detail to that report, it is going to take much more time. The 80% of the time will get consumed in that aspect. Similarly, if you have to construct a building, you can raise 80% of the building in just 20% of the time. The whole structure is ready. But then you have to finish that structure. Detailing of that structure, it will take 80% of the time. So I hope by now you are able to resonate with what I really want to share and how it is applicable to everyday life. Yeah. So now the problem in today's time is that people think that their life, 80% of their life is shaped because of situations, people and circumstances around them. And 20% is because of their internal belief system. Yeah, their thoughts. But actually it is the other way around, as I have already shared. It is 80% our own belief system, our habits, our patterns, and 20% you can attribute to the external circumstances, people, situations, opportunities, and all that. So in this video, we are going to learn how thoughts really impact in shaping our life, in shaping our today. Yeah, you are what? You are result of your thoughts, whatever you are today. So my name is Anshuman Khullar and I'm on a mission to help people how to be happy and healthy in their life by fixing their back issues by powerfully integrated IYC methodology. So in this video, we are going to understand the four major aspects which are impacted because of our thoughts. So let's get in the mind map. Okay. So as you can all see, the four major aspects which we are going to see in this video, understand in this video, are the health, the most important aspect, which is really governed by the thoughts and relationships, characters, and the destiny. So let's understand the health aspect first. So as we all are familiar in today's time, the health issues most of the people are facing, they are psychosomatic. 80% of the health issues, they are psychosomatic disorders. What are psychosomatic disorders? Which are related to the psyche. Example, arthritis, blood pressure, hypertension, uh, uh, heart attack, and all those issues, they are all related to the psyche, to the mind. And 20% you can attribute to the other aspect, yeah, the physiological aspect. So the psychological aspect and the physiological aspect. So 80% issues are because of psychological aspect in today's time. I have already shared with you. Now in psychological aspect, there are two major things which we are going to talk about. The first thing is the perception. Now this perception, how you perceive the world, is result of your thoughts. If your thoughts are positive, you will be able to perceive things positively. If your thoughts are negative, you will be able to perceive things negatively. So I would like to explain you with this example of a water bottle. If you see, if I ask you what is this in my hand, say, some of you may say it's a water bottle, some of you can say it's a half water, a half bottle full with water. Some of you can say it's half empty water bottle, and different answers will come by different people, and all the answers are correct. But the thing which I want to emphasize here is the perception. Your perception really helps you to perceive this world, and it is all governed by the thoughts. Yeah. And the second aspect is the state of mind. Now our mind, our state of mind, you can say it is just like a fertile soil. So it is said, as you sow, so shall you reap. If you bow in, if you are going to sow in the positive thoughts, you are going to have positivity all around. If you are going to sow negative thoughts, you are going to have negativity all around. So it all depends on whatever you sow. So whatever you think, it will grow in your life. So your state of mind is also result of the thoughts. So are you just understanding how your thoughts are impacting your perception, your state of mind, your psychology? Yeah. Now let's understand the other aspect, that is physiological aspect. Now the physiological aspect has again two components. So first is, if you see, there is something called SNS, sympathetic nervous system, and parasympathetic nervous system response. So these are the responses by the body in the situations. Now, if you tend to get tense on the situations, you tend to activate your sympathetic nervous system response. That is the fight and flight response, in which your body is ready to either fight or it is ready to flight. So it's a survival mechanism. But today, unfortunately, because of stress, this survival mechanism is on throughout the day because of so much of stress and thought process going on throughout the day. As a result of it, what happens? We are really compromising on the parasympathetic nervous response, which is responsible to rest and digest, which is responsible to heal the body. The body can only heal when the body is rested well, but we are not really able to rest even during the sleep in these days. Yeah. So this is the one psychological aspect. And the whole function of our body changes when our body is in sympathetic response and when our body is in parasympathetic response. In sympathetic response, our limbs get so much of strength so that we are able to fight or we are able to run. And in parasympathetic mode, what happens? All the survival things like digestion, excretion, all these things takes place in that parasympathetic response, and it is impacted again by the thoughts. So your thoughts play role in triggering these two, the sympathetic response or the parasympathetic response. Again, the thoughts play a vital role. And the second aspect is the emotions. Now our emotions, they are result of the thoughts. What are emotions basically, if we have to see, emotion is a thought with a force. That's it, if you see. And now these emotions, they result in secretion of something which is called neuropeptide. Now neuropeptide is a chemical which is secreted in response of the emotions which our brain perceives, our brain feels. And neuropeptide creates the chemical as per the secretion, as per the input which is received from the body. So that is why that all is well dialogue comes here in place. We must have heard that all is well dialogue from the Three Idiots movie. The purpose of that was to, give the signal so that secretion of positive hormones takes place in our body. So are you now understanding how thoughts are really impacting on our psychological and the physiological aspect? So now let's go in the second aspect, the relationships. Now we all are looking for perfect relationships, which is a big myth. No individual, including me, is perfect on this planet. Everybody has shortcoming, but we expect so much from people, and as a result, we start spoiling our relations. Yeah. So, see, understand, if you want to have a cordial relation, you need to focus on the good. Every person has some good habits and some not so good habits. But what you need to focus, you can see that. I give you an example. If I ask you, okay, count the objects in this hall which are circular? Quickly count the objects which are circular. Quickly leave an in the comment. So you can find 5, 7, 10 objects. Now, when I ask you to do this activity, what were you focused on? What to find out? The circular objects, no? There were rectangular, triangular, other shapes also available in this hall, in this room. But what you were focused on? To find the circular objects and write the answer. Similarly, in a relationship, if you want to find positivity in that relationship, you can find it out. And if you want to focus on the negativity, that is your choice. Again, your thought plays a role in what you are perceiving, and it really determines the relation. You can, I tell you, if you start appreciating people for the good they have, you'll find your relation with them really improves to a next level. And people will listen to you and will take your inputs and will improve them also. So this is how your thoughts really start impacting your relations. Yeah. So you see what you focus on. It is your choice. Okay. So now after this, how character is governed by the thought. Now this is going to be a very amazing thing. Now if you see, our character is a result of our habits which we have developed. And how we develop habits is because of the actions which we take. Yeah. And how our actions originate? Because of the thoughts which we possess. So are you just understanding how a single thought leads to an action? That action leads to a habit. That habit creates your character. So that is the impact of the thought in your life. It really shapes your character. And ultimately, it leads to your destiny. It is said that you are creator of your own destiny. Nobody else can write your destiny, but you yourself do that. You create it. And it is again governed by the thoughts. How? Just what happens, in our life? We blame people, situation, opportunities, and then we blame them, and then we blame our destiny. And it is a very easy way, to run away from the reality of the life. And most of the people are in this loop. They just blame people, situations, circumstances. Yeah. But if you really see, the actual reason is your own thoughts, your own habits, and your own patterns, which are really resulting in all this scenario, as I have already explained in the above section. Yeah. So over here, I would like to share a story that will make things very, very clear. It's one of my favorite stories I have shared on multiple occasions. So there was, okay, let's come on the close this mind map. So now there was a small boy, we can say his age was around 4 years, and he wanted to play with his dad, and his dad had some very important work. So he was requesting his father to play, and his dad, what he thought, okay, let me give my child a puzzle and let him solve this puzzle. Till that time, he will solve the puzzle, I'll complete my work, and then I'll play with my son. So what he did, he got a map of the world map he gave to his son, and he asked his son, okay, you arrange the whole puzzle, and once you are done, then we will play. And after that, he went to his study and started working, and that child was, playing with that puzzle, solving that puzzle. And it took 8 to 10 minutes for that child, and he fixed that puzzle completely and ran back to the papa, and he said, Papa, I have completed my puzzle. Now you have to play with me. You promised you have to play with me. And his dad was really surprised because it was a world map and he was just 4 5 years old boy. How could he, really fix that in such a small time? And he had hardly had knowledge about those, geographical features. So he just went and he checked that the world map was completely done. Now he was really surprised and he asked his son that, okay, tell me, how did you do it in such a short time? So his son shared, he said that on the back side of that puzzle, there was another puzzle and there was a man. So he just fixed that man and that world got fixed. And that man, now, if you can see, that man is result of those thoughts. And those thoughts are leading to your destiny. So if you have your positive thoughts, you can really create a very, very different destiny for you. So I hope this video makes sense. This story makes sense to each one of you. Yeah. So now are you just able to realize that how thoughts are really impacting our life and how much mindful you really need to be with your thoughts, because those thoughts leads to the words you say, leads to the action you take, and that starts determining to who you really are. I found it very, very fascinating, when I compiled this whole thing. It was really amazing. I really wanted to create this video to share out with each one of you, and I hope this video had some value to your life. And now you will be much more mindful with your own thoughts. Yep. So if you aspire to have a healthy back and have a healthy back and have a happy life, so what you can do is you can download your free guide which I have shared in the description and start implementing, start taking action, and it will, there are few powerful ways which can really help you to have a healthy back. Yeah. And if you loved this video, like it and subscribe to the channel so that you can get such amazing content which I'll be creating to help you in your life. See you in next video. Goodbye.